Oh, Cock, we are going to do a League One review for this weekend's games that have just passed. Now, we weren't going to do this originally because there's only 8 games that's happened and it's obviously only League One. There's some big old scorelines in here, you know, some big old scorelines, some important games. Bolton and Wimbledon, which were 3-0. Now, there were a red card in this in 50th minute, but also in first, we'll talk about that in a minute, by the way, because it was ridiculous. But in first half, it was still all Bolton anyway. This is what I expect. This is more like it. A Bolton side that's been quite iffy so far. They've always been in the games, which I think has been impressive, even though they've lost one. They draw 4 in a row, all one apiece. So they are always in games. They've had a fairly difficult start as well, coming to somewhere like Barnsley, for example, and getting a point. But this is what I expect from a side with this much quality that they have. Like, they've dominated full game. If we're going to touch on that red card now, I don't know what he's doing. He's a nutcase. It should be locked up. That is a stupid challenge. It's going nowhere. It's left back, I think, that gets snapped down. It's going absolutely nowhere. There's just no reason to do the tackle anyway. Near mine going knee height away from ball. I don't know if he slept with his wife. I don't know what's gone on there, but he hates that fella. I'll tell you what as well. I think I might have been wrong on Burstow, because I said at start that I don't think he's someone that's going to get the goal tally required for Bolton to really push at very top at table, whereas other teams that I think will be up there have got that sort of goal scorer. And he's proven me wrong. He's got 4 goals in 7 so far. And you know what I liked? This was quite a scrappy one. And I really like that for a striker. I feel like you've got to just be in right positions. And people say like the shit scrappy goals. But they're best ones to score, aren't they? They're easy for someone if they're in right position. And that's what best strikers do. So I really do want to apologise to Mason Burstow, because I think he's had a lightning start, 4 in 7. And part of that with some other players that they've got, like this Cozy Dubra, who's on loan from Brighton. Really good finish. Randall's looked like he started playing better now. He's one of the only survivors, really, of an Everton signing that still looks alright. Really impressive win, because Wimbledon and no mugs, as Barnsley have seen, and a lot of other sides have met that fate. They've won 3 games, lost 4 so far. Wimbledon, good start. But Bolton away, it's not for faint-hearted, really. Not a lot of teams will go there and win, and that stretched even to last season. I know they had a really poor end when they had nothing to play for. But for the most part, even in a horrific season for Bolton, they lost to Barnsley and Wigan, Charlton, who got promoted. There's still a lot of wins here for a side that were just awful by their own standards. They're obviously a top side, Bolton. I don't know what the fixtures are looking like. Even though they've lost 1, they've only conceded 6 goals in 7 games. Like, they have been in every game. They've got some difficult ones coming up as well. Like, later on in a way, no mugs. Wigan's a derby in it. And then, to be fair, you've got a couple of easy ones here before you go into Huddersfield and Cardiff. But yeah, I'm quite impressed by Bolton in certain areas. But Wimbledon, there's no shame in losing this game. A lot of teams will lose this game, and a lot of teams better than you will lose this game as well. So Wimbledon will be fine. Bolton, though, clearly a top team. This did surprise me, though. I said 1-1, I believe, in my prediction. Obviously, there's no predictions on screen because I did it on TikTok because there weren't enough games. There's only 8 games, so I couldn't make a prediction video out of that. So I did it on TikTok instead. But I said 1-1 for Donny and Bradford, and I'm surprised that they really did just take piss out on Donny, and it could have been more from the bits that I've seen. Like, the stats are quite dominant to Donny as well. More expected goals, like less possession, but who's bothered really? This is the only thing that matters, isn't it? More shots on target, more shots, more big chances, everything. No big chances for Bradford. Like, I've been banging on about how good Bradford are at home and how hard I think it'll be for teams to go there and win. Tell you what, don't write Donny off for that same fate. These look really mature, I would say. They do look really well drilled. They've got a good manager anyway, so that's a given. McGrath's back in, Molyneux's back in. Someone like Sharp scoring goals. Tidy little finish that, to be fair. I'm surprised he's starting. But across board, it's another one that I just think look quite well. Across 4-11, I just think they look half decent, mate, in every position. And to be fair, going back to it, Swan scored, right, and I think that probably equated to like 0.95 at chances anyway. Bradford didn't really lay a glove on him. The one shot on target was the goal from about 3 yards away where the keeper spilled it. But that's it. Donny have started really fast. The second in division, as of right now, they won 5 in a row. And just to touch on this home form as well, obviously this is spanning into League 2 where they won league. But again, even if you look at from here upwards, very good side, very hard to break down as well. There's not many games where they've conceded more than 1. There was Swindon and Walsall in League 2, but since then, 1 there, 1, just 1. That's it, maximum 1 a game. There are not many teams that I think will come to this place and win. You'll have to be a top side, and same at Bradford as well, but obviously we're speaking about Bradford away. You'll have to be on top of your game and a really good side if you're to go here and get a win. What's Molyneux on so far, by the way, like stats-wise? Had a knock there, 2 goals and an assist. So goal contribution every 2 games in league above, where he's never really spent any amount of serious time. No, never. He has 1 championship appearance, 2 in League One. This is first time he's been in League One since. His goal stats for last season were absolutely outrageous for like a winger / a 10. But the fact that they've kept him, who knows? Who knows about both these sides? It's hard to call so far because obviously these have played 7 games each. So it's hard to say where you think they're actually going to be long term. But the two good teams these. It's Bradford's first loss, so I won't be that arsed, really. And Donny are a good side. 2 potential outsiders, both of these. Good teams. Now, making trip from South to West Yorkshire for Huddersfield versus Peterborough. Huddersfield won at 3-2. It should have been 4 because I think it will be 4 this goal. I think it'd have made it 3-1 anyway at time. But Taylor's ran length at pitch, took it round keeper and it post. So it should have been more. And I think the scoreline, I don't really know how to address this because I don't think by the highlights and what people are saying that either of these two sides have actually played well. I don't think it's been a particularly good game. The one from Herbie Kane took a deflection before it went in. That was a good play from Sorensen, to be fair. You've got to give him that one. I know a lot of Huddersfield fans aren't that keen on him, but he did really well for goal. Alves couldn't miss from there. And Taylor did well for the final one. But the Kane one took a deflection and he's a fat bastard. The Peterborough one, that's a deflection and that were a nothing goal at the last minute. I think obviously Huddersfield have won and that's the only thing that matters. But Huddersfield haven't particularly played well against comfortably worst side in division. And Peterborough, despite scoring twice, still look weak in every single area at pitch, I would say. Obviously, I have not watched the full 90 of this game. I've watched extended highlights and seen what people are saying on Twitter. And that is all I've got to go off. But from the bits that I have seen, Peterborough still look crap everywhere. And Huddersfield, I am still another one. So ultimately, who cares? That's the only thing that's the only thing that is important. It doesn't have an asterisk next to these 3 points on the table, does it? It's 3 points, that's it. Nobody's going to care in 2 weeks. But I still think there are areas that Huddersfield could drastically improve on with the personnel that they've got. And I think they are riding the luck a little bit so far, Huddersfield. Personally. But they are a top side still, and I think Peterborough crap. Moving on. Lincoln and Wigan 2 apiece. Paul Mullins scored the first one 10 minutes in. It's actually like a tidy little finish, that, to be fair. They should have scored again. I think Sadie at one that it fell to him and he couldn't. Well, he got a red card. I'll tell you what, he was very involved. It was a lively game for him. But he got a really nice little flick onto one that come over the top and he nearly dinked him. So that was a really good effort. The red card, I'm trying to think of what it were, top of my head. Oh, it definitely were, actually. He's dragged his studs down his shin, hasn't he? That's what it is, outside of his leg. He's tried opening his body, to be fair, to try and just shield it and protect ball. But regardless if it's an accident, you can't drag your studs down side of somebody's leg and expect to get away with it. Accident or not, it's a definite red card. Let me look at this fella and all. James Collins has scored twice. God, he's R9 or what? He's got 5 goal contributions in 7 games. To be fair, he got a goal every other game last season. League One is just, you know what it is? Some lads, regardless of age, is 34. It's like same as Didsey. It's same as Billy Sharp. Some of these guys that have just been about forever, they just do know where net is. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they've looked after the bodies throughout their careers, they just know where net is. They're in the right position. Last time we were in League One with Derby, it got 14, 11 before that, 25 with Luton, 19, 19, 15 there in League Two, 14, 14. It's just a certified bagsman. And if you can play to your striker's strengths, which teams should do, the best players for a reason, they score goals, they get all money and birds. Like, do you know what I mean? You should be filtering everything through your striker to benefit his game. And Lincoln are doing that and they're seeing rewards because of it. They've not lost since Wimbledon in its second game. But yeah, that's a red card. To be fair, I think that's a red card as well. I saw people saying that refs made it all about himself. And obviously I've not seen the decisions that like throw-ins and little knocks, free kicks and that type of shit that does annoy fans that are actually at game. But they're both red cards for me, definitely. And from full diagnosis of the game itself, I do think a draw is probably fair. Wigan are another one, though, that I do think are probably quite far off the proper top sides in this division. But again, I said the same about Bolton, because they've not won many games so far, Bolton. They've only won 2 in 7. But they're always in games. And apart from this Leyton Orient one, where they were definitely the worst side, they've been in every single game. Even the ones that they've not won, like Rotherham away, they've drawn. They've drawn at home to Stockport. They've got a draw away at Lincoln. They've not been hammered. Do you know what I mean? They are always in games, and you can always pick up points or wins, even when you probably don't deserve it. I'm not saying that's case here, because I think a draw's fair, but you've always got the chance to snag points, which I think Lowe did consistently with Preston by keeping him up in Championship. And you could see, again, potentially another outsider here with Wigan, just based on the fact that they are always in games until the very last. So you could always nick some points. But Lincoln are a good side. It's an hard league to call, you know. I do think the top 3 or 4 a 5 maybe, or 6, I don't even know. I think the top 3 or 4 will probably pull away. But there's a clump of chasers that clearly aren't your top sides, but your Lincolns and your Wigans and Leyton Orient, for example. There's a lot of half decent to good teams in this division that it's anyone's game for somebody that could get in like 5th or 6th. But these two could definitely be on that radar. 2 apiece, Lincoln and Wigan. It does seem fair though. This did shock me. I thought Stockport would win this game. Silly me, I don't know anything. But Plymouth have won 4-2. That is never a foul in a million years. Anybody that's saying it is has never played football in their life. It's 2 men grappling at a corner. If we start getting for that, I know they have started getting for that in Premier League, we'd still be here now reviewing free kicks and penalties. There'd be 10 a game. So how anybody can sit there and seriously say that that is a foul, I have no idea, because it is not, ever. It's a decent little header, to be fair, but it's not a foul. That's a screamer from Watts. He's really tidy, you know. I know they were absolutely dog shit against Barnes the first game, but he looked good. Very hot and cold, and he's either best player or worst by looks. But I weren't overly keen on him at Exeter, you know. They got him on a free transfer. Good business. But I don't think he was this world beater that he were made out to be when they first signed him. But I do like him, you know. He is one that I wouldn't have had stocks in at the start of the season. But I have now. I think he could do quite well for Plymouth. I think he'd have a good career here. Norwood penalty, absolutely classic. Good finish from Ibrahim as well. But this Tolaj goal, like the Wootton one was a nice finish as well, but game were gone at that point. This Tolaj is what Plymouth have missed. If you've not seen it, after you've watched this video, liked and subscribed and watched the full thing through twice, go and look at this. Because the touch into finish is serious top draw. Really good pickup for about £1 million, I think were reported from Port Vale for this Tolaj. He is a player. I am telling you. You have got a tidy little fella there on your hands. You got 2 in cup against Cheltenham and 1 here. Yeah, I think he will score a lot of goals for Plymouth. But I'm going to sit here and make the same point as I've done for a while with Stockport. Well, since first couple of weeks, really, because I think they were looking at first game against Bolton when they won. These are not the same as last year. They're actually just not. A draw away at Wigan, which, like I've said, that ain't that bad. Like, Wigan are a tough side to break down, as we've just said, and they're always in the games. So there's no really wrong there. But the draw away at Leyton Orient is something that I can't check. I can't get it out of my mind that that is a thing that Stockport have allowed to happen. You would have not seen that once last season. They were so efficient. If they went 2-0 up, game were done. You were not getting nish from that game, even away at good sides. If they started winning comfortably, that were it. They'd just seat game out. But they drew that from 2-0 up. Then they lost to Bradford at home. They lost to Wigan in Cup, which again, that don't mean anything really. Drew Wigan away. Been hammered away at Plymouth, who've been crap so far. They're just not the same. They are not as scary this season as I would have said that they were last. And I still don't think this is the strongest team at all. I think the defence is miles off really what it could be once like people are back from fitness and stuff like that. But also, like, where's Mothersill? Do you know what I mean? Is Mothersill on bench? That's crazy. That is crazy. I mean, they have got Corey O'Keefe, so I expect him to be dog shit anyway. But players that they've brought in that are on bench that I would expect to be starting, Hills, Mothersill and Aluru, I would expect to all start. I think he's struggling to find his best 11, isn't he? Really, I think Stockport Gaffer is struggling with it. You've got a lot of half decent players there and trying to fit them all in and playing sort of players out of position, which I think is just the worst thing ever. Trying to shoehorn your best players into an 11 in positions that they don't really suit. I think that is just suicide me a lot of the time. But they've got a lot of good players. It's just trying to find the right mix for him. And it's taking him a bit longer than they probably like, Stockport. They've scored 12 goals, but they've conceded 11 so far for, again, a very defensively solid side last season. And they've won 1 in the last 5. So there's definitely a lot of room for improvement there for Stockport. But finally a win for Plymouth. They've won 2 in the last 3 now with a 4-0 loss away at Cardiff in middle of it. But maybe they'll start finding some form now. At home especially, you've got to start picking some wins up, haven't you? And they've done that. 2 in a row, 4 goals scored. Still a little bit spooky defensively, and I think that is an area that they will still struggle to just keep goals out. They look alright going forward, but 15 goals conceded in 7 games, that is mental. That's most. That's even more than Peterborough, and they've got like a non-league standard defence. But a 4-2 win for Plymouth, nonetheless, very good win. Now I'm going to move on to Port Vale 2, Leyton Orient 3. And from the things that I've seen so far, bear in mind I watch a lot of football, Premier League down to League 1 mainly, I don't watch loads of League 2. But from all the teams that I've seen, I am in disbelief that Port Vale have only got 2 points. I think in the majority of games that I've seen highlights, well, I've seen highlights for every game, every league game that they've played, and I've watched full 90 against Cardiff. That's it though for full 90s. The games that I've seen, they look the better side in all of them. They're sat on 2 points. I can't believe they've lost this game. More expected goals, more shots on target, 1 less big chance, to be fair. but more corners, and you'd think they'd be good on set piece, a side that's come up from League Two. Obviously, Dave Cole, who I'm not the biggest fan on because he obviously downed tools for Barnsley and ran his contract out for free. So he could go to West Brom. He's never been a Championship striker. But for League One, I think he's showing the difference in the golfing class immediately. Because Leyton Orient defensively aren't good. Like, let's keep it real. They're not a good defensive side at all. They're good going forward. But Cole just ripped him to shreds immediately. In his first game in this division in a couple of years since he left Barnsley, like, he's just immediately come in and been best player by a mile. Like, I think they've got a really good pickup and a good fit for them. And Darren Moore's a good manager, to be fair. But I think they've got a really good fit there. And that sort of brings in the goal threat that they've lost with Tolaj. I do think Cole will probably get you like 12 goals at least. He'll definitely get double figures easily. But defence is still a problem. To be fair, Leyton Orient did take some of the goals well. And with Ballard, Connolly and Karoma specifically in a free going forward and Neil Mazzuni at middle, this O'Neill guy, I don't recognise him, to be honest with you. Played 29 games last season. He's not really a nailed on starter though, is he, with 29 games? I think he's one that maybe comes in and out quite a lot. Or he got injured, that's probably why. I do think once they get the first win, then they'll probably get a few in a row. And I hope not what I'm about to say. But Exeter away and then Mansfield at home in the next 2 games. Obviously there's Barnsley, but then you've got Northampton and Wimbledon and Wigan. So you've got 5 out of 6 games there that you would look at and think you've got a real serious chance at winning. And they'll probably lose all of them and beat Barnsley. That'll just be how this goes. But I think Port Vale soon, despite this is a side that's second bottom with 2 points, 5 losses. They've only scored 4 goals, so they're not offering a great deal going forward. But 2 of them are now because of Cole, now that they've brought him in. So I think they will address that quite quickly. Defensively, not much of a problem, it's got to be said, for a side that is second bottom a minute. I think they could easily win 3 out of the next 4 games. I really do. I think these will be a side to watch in coming weeks. That could start putting teams to sword a little bit and start really racking some points up because they deserve them so far. And not to take anything from Leyton Orient because they've got to win and that's all that matters, like we said for Huddersfield game. But this is a smash and grab if I've ever seen it. And to be fair, I quite like that Charlie Wellens is the winner because it's Wellens' son, obviously. It's the Leyton Orient manager's son that he brought. Where did he come from? Did he come from Reading or something? Or Mansfield? He come from Reading's under-21s to Leyton Orient. He played in Cup midweek, scored. He's come on for 12 minutes here, scored winner. I'll tell you what, I think it's a bit dodgy me sometimes when managers or owners of football clubs just shoehorn the kids and their offspring into teams. But if you're scoring 2 and 2 at 22 years old from Middle at Park, bob on, what a coup. But yeah, anyway, going back to it, I think Port Vale will get some more points soon. But a really impressive smash and grab from Leyton Orient side of things because soon this is going to be a place that teams do not want to go, Port Vale. It's been too easy for teams to go there so far and ride the luck, and I think that will change soon. But Port Vale have lost 3-2 to Leyton Orient. Now, a really important one here. I did give Rotherham a win in my predictions, even though I still think they'll go down. But Exeter at home is a side that if you can't win against a side like this when you're really down in dumps and you've been crap so far, Rotherham, then you look a bit hopeless anyway. But they have won 1-0. Nice finish from this Hall fella. I think he's one of the fellas that they brought in in summer. He is. It's his first goal. Took it well, though. Stats is mainly with Rotherham, but I assume that, yeah, your possession, a lot of that comes in second half anyway when they're sitting back, which still I think is daft to sit back at home 1-0 up against Exeter. But more expected goals by a mile, more shots on target, more big chances, more everything. Rotherham definitely deserved the win. This goal looks alright if he can actually stay fit. They had him for a game, I think, last season. Or 3 games last season, and then he got injured. I think they brought him in Jan, if I remember properly. But yeah, it's been a tough start for him. But in the odd bit that I've seen, obviously he's on loan from Man United, I think he looks alright. For a 20-year-old, he looks like one of Rotherham's better players, definitely. Still think this strike force really strikes confidence into defenders. This is not scary at all. I think I could go and do a job against these two. But once Nombe comes back, I think they'll obviously offer a lot more threat going forward. They've got to start putting some wins together now. It's a good one to just finally get one of that line and get a win on board because they've not had one since first game. But looking at the ones coming up, Wimbledon away is tough. Stockport were out of favour at minute. And you've got Mansfield, obviously Bradford at home, Northampton, Leyton Orient. You'll not win at Barnsley because you've not in, I think we'll bet you 7 times in a row. But these games, it's a chance to get some form, find some form, get some serious points on board and get you away from that bottom 4. Because I still think you'll be in it. I'm not going to change my mind after one game. But I am impressed with the fact that you've not crumbled under pressure. Despite sitting back quite a bit against Exeter, 1-0 up, it's a good win. So I'll give you credit where it's due. Good win. Rotherham 1, Exeter 0. In terms of Exeter, by the way, we'll just touch on it quickly. You are one at weaker side. You're not going to go and win every game. You've got 9 points in 7 games. You're in 13th at minute. It's been a really good start for Exeter. but I think they are definitely one of the poorer sides in Division 2. Wycombe 2, Mansfield 0. They have actually won a game. That is the first one of the season. 7 games, 1 win. Nice. It's about time. Quite an even game, gotta be said. Lineups, it's looking more somewhat like now as well. I know it's a penalty that Woodrow scored, I believe, yeah. But again, this is another fella that just in this division scores goals. Do you know what I mean? The majority of his goals has been for Barnsley throughout his career. He's got 16 in season we got promoted, then 14 and 13 in Championship. To be fair, when you look at the other goal tellers that he's had throughout his career, he was just exceptional for Barnsley for 3 years, really. This one he down tools as well. It's just another one of them ones. But for 3 years in a row, he were exceptional for us and scored double figures with ease every single time in a division that Barnsley consistently struggling. So he knows where net is. He's a very good finisher. Like for this division, I do truly think you are looking at one of best finishers probably in league. If the ball drops to him in box, I would back him to score more or less every time. So it is a really good player to add to Wycombe's ranks. For a side that has created a fair few chances so far as well, I do think they have missed the Coney presence so far, and they would have more goals and obviously points if they did have him. But I'm still not a big fan of Dodds. I think it's a crap gaffer. They have made fairly light work of Mansfield here, to be fair. A side that, again, has started quite fast. But when you look at the personnel here, I think the Wycombe team is quite poor, but it is looking more somewhat like with players like Taylor from Bristol Rovers, who I do quite like, Abbott in middle, Woodrow, this Bell fella. Like, they're looking a little bit more somewhat like. Still not as good as last season, but last season's gone, so I'm not going to mention that anymore because it's even making me bored speaking about Wycombe last season. Speaking about them right now, they are getting better game by game, but I do think that Dodds is definitely the weak point, and against better sides, you will just get outsmarted, outplayed, outfought, out everything. But against side like Mansfield, all due respect, at home, good win. 2-0, clean sheet, happy days, couple goals, no real threat at back, comfortable win, just what you needed. Really good win that for Wycombe, 2-0 against Mansfield. And a quick look at the table, because obviously 8 teams didn't play, but bottom to top, bottom of the league, we've still got Peterborough, 1 point in 7 games, not surprising at all, they are awful. Port Vale on 2 points, second bottom, and I do think they will start to find some form really quickly, like I've said. But none of other bottom 5 played. Wycombe obviously get the first win. Plymouth get the second win, and it's 2 in a row at home now for them, and Rotherham get one as well. Some really impressive wins for sides down at bottom that have started really poor. But then shooting up table a little bit, Bolton look more like themselves. Stockport still quite iffy. Lincoln, I think, have done well with the start that they've had. Bradford obviously lose for the first time. Huddersfield have got another win, but I still think the papering of it cracks a little bit there. And a side that started really well and not been given that much credit so far is DONNY, who are on 16 points in second place after 7 games. Cardiff, obviously top at league, not played, and they've got a game in hand. So really fast start for them with 5 wins and a draw. But also, I'm massively impressed with DONNY and Bradford, to be fair, it's got to be said. But that's that. Kiss, absolute pleasure. Make sure you like, subscribe if you do enjoy it. It does help me out quite a lot. Love you all, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.
I say I'm a man, yes, I'm a mucker. I think of me saying as a right good looker. I say up that. Show us bit it.